DJI Air 2S. Let's learn the basics of flying drones. To begin with, let's take a look at the remote controller. The controller is then connected to your mobile phone with, of course, an app, DJI app, where your drone can be controlled. So we have three options here where you can choose three modes. One is cinematic mode, normal mode, and the sports mode. So let's have a closer look then. When we take a closer look to the drone itself, we have here the propellers, the camera, and the body of the drone contains a rechargeable battery. So the light indicates, a green light indicates that the sensor is on, forward sensor and the backward sensor. When you actually fly a drone, so you must be very sure that the propellers, the four of them, they have to have the same blade type, so you should not interchange them. The diagonal ones are the same. So when the rotation of the propellers are equal, of equal speed, and if they are equal and balanced with each other, then it generates lift. So that's why the drone flies, because the four propellers are of equal proportion. Yes, for example, when you see that, when you press the button and the propeller turns, then it generates a lift, and that's why the drone flies. So this is the very basic in a drone flying. So you have to have a little bit of knowledge about aeronautical engineering, so to speak. To explain more about the basics of flying, then since in this case the drone stagnates in a certain position, so all the forces that influence the movement of the drone are within balance. For example, the thrust, the drag, the weight, and the lift. So because of the four propellers, the lift was generated a while ago, but then as of the as you can notice, the drone stagnates at the same position for a long time, because I was trying to land it to the previous landing position, but it doesn't work. The command doesn't work. As you can see, the sensor is becoming red. That means that there's a problem with the landing. So the landing area might not be suitable for landing as the sensor of the drone interprets it. So that's why it's red, and especially at the back sensor, as you can notice it. In this case, the drone sensor senses that in the beginning the landing area is not suitable for landing. So that means there's a lot of reflection from the floor itself to the sensor. So that's why it happens that the drone itself stagnates at a certain position, regardless of the command you've given to the command center or the controller. But what's nice with the DJI Air 2S is that there is what they call sport mode. So if you are in the sport or sports mode, the drone doesn't sense the landing position, so it doesn't stagnate, because the sensor is like disabled. So when it's disabled, then it just flies by itself. So it is very good in an open air space. But in this case, where I'm only studying, I'm only experimenting inside the house, then I need to use the cinematic or the normal mode. So that is how it goes with flying with the latest drone technology today. So what's nice with this is the propellers, especially during night when you fly the drones. They're very beautiful because it radiates green and a red, and it blinks always. And under it is the sensor also for the landing position, and in front of it, so in front of it it is called the gimbal. So the gimbal is the one that holds the camera. So the camera has also a lens. So it's like you're studying photography, real photography with a still camera, or for example, if you have a Nikon camera, it's the same quality. So it's very amazing, because if you're good in photography, or if you're a professional photographer, so you set the drone, the camera in front of it, the way you set the real camera. And take note, the quality of the camera is 4K resolution. So you'll be very happy with the result. That's the nice thing about drone and the latest technology. When you deal with it and you study photography, it's just hitting two birds on one stone. Now let's start with real flying outside my house.